morning to you and you and you and you and you and you and you.
Now, guys, I have to raise a really thorny subject here.
Oh, hang on. Can we just say good morning?
No. I want to just see what people think. As we approach the end of lockdown, which will be happening in what, 6 weeks, 4 weeks?
Well, I don't think we can say.
As we move towards the halcyon heights of being able to put your foot out the front door without shitting yourself, of being able to go and sit in a restaurant or order chicken and eat it within the place that you've bought it, what's going to have to happen to coffee moaning? Is coffee moaning here to stay?
Why are you asking that? We've had coffee moaning the whole year. It's so weird.
Yeah, but in a year of lockdown, when we come out of this crisis, what are we going to do?
Well, I don't know. You tell me.
What are we going to do, guys?
You tell me, baby.
What are we going to do?
If anyone's just come over for Instagram and this is your first time joining us for a coffee moaning, give us lots of emoji waves.
Hello
so
from
we can
Kiwi Land.
Say hello to you and welcome you. Kiwi Land.
Danny,
Kiwi
morning.
Land.
Fiona Reed, Grandma Rosie's channel. Hello. Tis Blue Monday, and it is Blue Monday today, actually. Today is officially Blue Monday. Mm-hmm. I think I had my Blue Monday a week early.
I can't remember what brand it was, but this is just
a travel brand.
It's a travel brand.
It was a travel brand, wasn't it?
This heart. Yeah, she's trying to get people to book holidays, and now it's become a thing that people actually do believe Blue Monday is a real thing. Well, no, I did for years.
But I think it was still done on some kind of research, which was founded on some truth.
We have a drop in serotonin levels.
But does anyone think that when you have these moments like a Blue Monday or something like that, when that's parked in the calendar, we all kind of, we live towards it, we gravitate towards it, we sort of bring it upon ourselves.
Power of suggestion.
Yeah, so we think, fuck, it's going to be a Blue Monday. Whereas I like the fact that it's Blue Monday and I had my Blue Monday last Monday. That makes me feel like it's a Green Tuesday.
Millie Parfitt has a banging headache and she's in bed when she should be homeschooling. Hey, do you know what? They'll be fine.
Get them to watch the history of the swear word if they're over 14. Jilly D, I had mine on Friday. Dawn Claricoats, I feel more than blue today. Oh, sweetie. Yeah, you know, I'm making light of it because I felt so awful this time last week. And what is the proof? The proof is that if you're here now, that means you 100% survived your last negative feeling. Isn't that right, Tim Reed?
Claire Franklin, hello, first time here. Welcome to our lovely community here. Welcome, Claire.
Isn't that right? And I think there's something very true in that if you are here today, you know for a fact, one fact you know about your life that's gone before is you've survived bad times or down times or difficult times.
Makes us stronger.
And you will again.
Sherbet Pips, I'm a quiet watcher, but OMG, you help with so many things.
What
a lovely Sherbet Pip. Do you remember Sherbet Pips? Did you like Sherbet?
What is a Sherbet Pip?
You never had a Sherbet Pip?
I had sherbet, but I never had Sherbet Pips.
They were tiny little multicoloured sherbets, you know, like sherbets. Mm-hmm. But pips, like little pips of sherbet.
You gave me no more detail other than just keep repeating the words.
Tiny little multicoloured pieces of sherbet.
Pips.
So they were called pips because they were little pieces.
Bits of sugar.
Multicoloured. No, you know sherbet, the big sherbets with the sherbet in between inside, and then they had like the sweet you would suck, and then the sherbet would be you'd crack into the outside bit made into little pips. Does anyone else remember Sherbet Pips?
Oh look, Joyce Pritchard. Oh my God, I loved Sherbet
What
Pips.
was your favourite penny sweet?
Oh look, Vicky Ross. I've been watching you for almost 2 years now through pregnancy and maternity.
Oh, how lovely! Baby.
It's a Sawalha-Adderley baby.
What was your favourite penny sweet? I loved Blackjacks. And I loved aniseed twists.
Can I just say something? I know
I've got something in the throat.
No, but you've had it for days. You've been on and off.
Do you think it's a persistent?
You know how you say of a friend of yours that their partner does this cough and you know they should worry about it a bit more and get it looked at? I'm beginning to fall into the category of saying you need to get your cough looked at. It's constant and it's regular. Blackjacks, fruits, you have...
It's not persistent.
What has happened to your left eye again? What is going on with your left eye? Look
Mark, stop it! You're trying to freak me out.
I'm not. Look at...
I can't speak.
What's happened?
I'm whistling.
What's that sound?
I'm breaking down.
Show me your tongue. Just show me
No, Mark, I don't want to show you my tongue.
No! COVID tongue. Show me the
No,
tongue.
we don't know what a COVID tongue
I
is.
do. I know exactly. I was examining them all. Show me.
No.
Tongue.
No, I'm
All
not
right.
sticking my tongue out
All
on
right,
YouTube.
get your tits out.
No.
All right.
Julie
Worth
Allen,
a try.
Julie Allen likes a fruit salad. Shrimps, Jenny Matthews. I love a shrimp. Can I get some shrimps?
Chop out my
today?
skin. Shrimps. What's going on?
Flying saucers.
Where?
Do you remember the flying saucers?
I used to love the fruit salad and the blackjacks.
Somebody very sensibly just said there. Who was it?
Drink some
Heather
water.
Gunn said, drink some water.
Do you want me to get you some?
No, I don't want to drink water. Don't fancy it. You know, sometimes when you just can't drink water, I was saying this to Stacey the other day. I said, do you ever get that thing when you're really thirsty but you can't drink? She went, oh my God, I've got that so badly at the moment because I just can't drink even though I'm thirsty. It's weird.
Read Tutti Fruit.
My Sawalha-Adderley baby is due tomorrow.
That's so
Oh,
cute.
that's so lovely.
Send us a photo.
But if baby
Tutti
doesn't come
fruit.
tomorrow, don't start obsessing about it. Just rest more and say, you know, the longer they're in there, the bigger their hearts grow, the weightier they are, the better, and just rest. Milk bottles.
I used to love milk bottles.
What's your favourite? Can we get some penny sweets later?
They don't do them, do they, anymore?
I suppose you couldn't root.
I mean, I remember I'd go
you'd go and you'd pick your little one, put it in a
imagine
little
that.
bag.
All the germs you
Oh,
would
no,
get.
I'd be like, oh.
But they used to be halfpennies, wouldn't they? But we used to have a half penny piece, and you used to be able to get two. I mean, you could
Just
get.
get 2 blackjacks for a halfpenny.
Not when I was young, you couldn't.
I bet you're 7 years younger than me. Sweet cigarettes. Do they still
Yeah,
sell
we used to stand on the
I
street
know they're
doing
wrong,
that.
but do they still sell them? I
Terrible,
don't know.
isn't it? They were
Chocolate
actually-
cigarettes. We used to get. Pear drops, Juniper Grace are one
I
of
like
my
pear drops.
favourite sweets.
But can I just say, pear drops always
They make
end
you
up
cough.
slicing the edge of your tongue
Yeah,
off, don't
yeah.
they? You
Yeah,
get a
they
pearly
really.
kind
And
of.
you'd sometimes you'd go like this and purposefully scrape the roof of your mouth
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
granulated sugar. But
Drumsticks.
an
I
aniseed
love
twist,
drumsticks.
lovely. This filling that I have to keep having redone is from aniseed twists.
Gabrielle, fizzy cola bottles.
I didn't like them.
They're always a bit too
Dina
jelly
liked
for
them.
me.
Sweet tobacco.
Leo.
Leo.
I never had that. Did you have it in a rolling
Oh,
pouch and
it's
everything?
so nice.
Talk about encouraging kids
Do you
to
remember?
smoke.
I know. Do you remember golden nuggets?
Yeah, I do.
You get them in a little cloth
we
bag.
had some. We bought some of those
Yeah.
for a sort of
And they were
food
chewing
shoveling
gum,
thing, didn't
yeah.
we? Bazooka bubblegum. What was the chewing gum
How
that when
much
you
do
opened
penny
it up?
sweets cost now?
What-
Sweet peanuts, Emma McGregor.
What,
I
were
love them.
what was the chewing gum that when you opened it up there was a mini comic in it? Do you remember in the wrapper?
Oh yes,
there was
Bazooka.
a comic. It was Bazooka.
Bazooka.
Was it Lisa Delmac or was it
Yeah,
Bazooka?
it was Bazooka.
Rachel Louise, we still have the old-fashioned sweet shop. Well, of course, I did a documentary with Nigel Slater where we went into a beautiful sweet shop. I forget where it was. Somewhere up north, and it was gorgeous.
Meg Beach, I love you for this. Pick and Mix Online is a good site that delivers pick and mix. Great for cinema nights in.
Boom, boom, shakalaka.
That's a really good idea because
Toffee
I'm
logs.
looking for the next thing that we can do that feels like a bit like we're out but we're in. So last night we did Fake Restaurant and Pictionary and it cheered us all up. And we could do an online shop of pick and mix and then
Yes.
it will make it a
And
bit
then a
more of
movie
cinema
watch.
rather than just let's
Yes.
watch another film. Going to do that with the girls. What was it called? Pick and Mix Online. Thank you for that.
Pick and
What a
Mix
good
Online.
recommendation.
Yeah. HC Farmville, please don't stop coffee moanings. I always tune in. I love the travel vlogs. I find
It's
it
just
interesting.
being an arse,
As I'm in a
ignoring.
wheelchair.
You were being an arse.
I wasn't being an arse.
Von bananas.
Bonbons. The way they'd have the dust on them and then it
Lemon.
goes soft.
Don't like the strawberry.
I
Love
love
the
the
lemon. Didn't like the
strawberries.
toffee. But hang on,
Love the
foam
strawberries.
bloody bananas.
Foam bananas. They're the big yellow
Yeah,
ones.
but they go all
lovely.
foamy in your mouth. I've never heard them called
And you
that
take them out and
before.
shove them up your friend's nose.
Gobstopper to you, Nicky McKenna.
Did you ever shove them
Gobstop-
up someone else's
no,
nose?
Mark, you're
and
being
then-
stupid.
No, but then you'd fire
No,
it.
I didn't.
You'd
I never stuck a foam banana up my nose
Chewed.
and then fired it.
Yeah, and we would have target practice. We'd get a little kind of bullseye thing, and we'd fire the banana chunks.
Such a boy. I bet you were flicking towels on wet, naked buttocks as well. Boys are weird.
No, that was our sports master, and I think we need to look into that.
Right. Space
Jazzies,
dust.
mushrooms.
Shrooms. Millie 123H. Space dust. Jazzies. What's that, Louise Nevu?
Flumps.
Never heard. Flumps. I love flumps. Get them at the cinema.
You can get them all from
Sarah Elliott. I wasn't a big sweet eater.
Sue Wood, you can get them all from the co-op shop. HW, I remember when I was a child
Can
going
you,
to the
from the
sweet
co-op?
shop with my sister with 20p and getting 1 penny sweets. You got a lot in there. You did get a lot in those days.
Not good. Mushrooms. The coconut. Dina's Tom Thumb Drops.
Fish and chips.
Tom Thumb Drops. Yeah, because they were so tiny, Jackie Vellino.
Oh, Love Hearts. They never quite did it for me. Love
Andrea
Hearts.
Crush.
Cherry Lips. Do you remember cherry and floral gums?
Izzy and Fleur love cherry lips.
Do you remember the teeth, the set of teeth you could eat? And you'd put them in and you'd run around like that.
Yeah. This is funny. Andrea, that was the 10th of July 1967 in New Zealand when we had pennies. Gee, I cannot remember that we bought bags of mixed lollies for little money. Well, you missed out.
Coconut mushrooms, Leo. You're absolutely right.
Love coconut mushrooms.
Coconut
White
mushrooms.
mice. Sugar paper, Chrissy.
Tutti Frutti.
Cough candies, love them, Derry Shore. Tutti Frutti, Charaloo.
How did we end up here?
Charaloo.
Palmer Violets, Dragon Rose. They sort of tasted of what
I
your
don't like
nan's
Palmer
drawer.
Violets.
Yeah, but they tasted of like my nan's drawer.
Morning, Emma Morrison, new member. Emma Morrison is a new member.
Welcome.
That means she's going to need a song.
I need a piece of paper and a pen.
Well, go and get one then.
Gonna get a coffee as well.
Kerry Bradford, it's my birthday today. Can I have a song? Of course you can, Kerry Bradford. We had a really fun night shift last night, guys. So if you missed it, we did upload it. And it was just silly and we banned the news. We didn't talk about the news. But if you are here for the news today, we will be talking about it in a minute. Kerry, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kerry Bedford. Happy birthday to you. Oh, happy birthday. Have a lovely day. Apparently, Jazz's, it was said here, were... Who was it? Chocolate with hundreds and thousands on? Is that what you were saying? Frogs, Nicola.
Yes.
Love frogs. Dracula teeth, Memmy says. Jawbreakers from Jenny Fay. Flying saucers. Rhubarb and custard. Sherbet dips. Toffee crumble from Emily Walker. And sugar paper from Nim. Lovely. We love a little bit of nostalgia. It sets us off to a good mood.
It does. It does.
Right. So,
What?
how are we all feeling then about the fact that we are now in certain parts of the country, 70s and over are going, 70s and no, I think it's just 70s. 70-year-olds, yeah, are going to be offered, so because we've had 80s, the vaccine. Now, a lot of people are panicking about that and thinking, oh, but my 80-year-old hasn't got their vaccine yet. And this is an important thing, distinction here, is only in the areas where they've already vaccinated all their 80-year-olds. So I think a lot of people have been worrying that their mum's been left out or whatever. And it's only where
Penny Shrimpton, welcome.
they've already been vaccinated.
Yeah, I think what's happening.
Spangles, loved Spangles.
There's a couple of stories running today.
Might take that off, it's really annoying.
Sorry. I just wanted to avoid you when you sing. You're such a super spreader. Oh, God, babe.
Oh, God. But yeah, you see, I found that really encouraging yesterday that they're moving to 70s up to 80s. Mark, stop it.
It's all right for you to just do what you want when you want to.
Yeah, but why are you doing... I hate it when you do things like that.
What? Show me tits?
Yeah. So that's good news. That
No,
means
so-
Nanny Di should be vaccinated.
Well,
fairly
Nanny
soon.
Di, yeah, vaccination of over 70s begins in England. Almost 4 million now have had their first COVID-19 jab, which I think is really good. And they're planning on accelerating it. Now, I think the government are doing quite well here. I think they're charging at it.
Due.
Charging at it like nutters, 4 million. Now, we're going to have to, at some point, see this translate into a dramatic reduction in cases at some point. I mean, what we mustn't forget is that whilst things have plateaued down here, I think numbers in the northwest and the northeast are back up on the
welcome,
increase.
Kerry. Have a lovely
So
day.
I think everywhere's going to have a natural rise and then a natural flow back. But I think we are in a very good place. Now, there's a lot of... I've noticed a couple of stories creeping through this morning, rumblings about that the vaccine supply could be a little bit lumpy and bumpy, is the phraseology.
AstraZeneca haven't sorted it yet.
Yeah, and Pfizer are having to close part of their production line in order to maximise the production line. So
But AstraZeneca, somebody was talking to me the other day who's volunteered at a vaccine centre, and they said we could actually be vaccinating more people at the moment, but we can't guarantee that we're going to get the supply on that day. Yeah. And I thought that was because of this -70, i.e. the Pfizer one. But no, it's just AstraZeneca just haven't quite got the flow going, but that will sort itself out. So, and then when it does, we're going to be flying even more with numbers.
We're going to be flying, and I think there's a couple of things to be happy about today. So there's that, and there's the fact that yes, people have to go into quarantine now when they arrive in the UK. So I think these are two things.
Yeah, but that's a big problem, and I want to talk about that.
Right. Okay, but you could argue it's happened too late. But at least it's stuff that suggests to some extent that we could be in a situation now where finally, after only a year or thereabouts, we're kind of getting to we're kind of doing all of the things now that we felt we should have done right at the beginning.
Yeah.
But one doesn't want to sort of little gift horse in the mouth. So I think coupled with the mass vaccination process, a closing down of borders to some degree, or a limiting of people coming in and what have you, I think this has got to be good news, guys.
Well,
I mean,
problem
it's
the
got
problem
to
with
be.
this is, and this is what John Campbell says.
Oh.
There is a massive problem with first of all, you have to turn up with a negative test that you've had 72 hours within 72 hours within 72 hours of flying. He said that's a massive problem because you can go out within that 72 hours and you can become infected.
Yeah.
Or so you either have to have a negative certificate, or you have to isolate for 10 days.
Yeah.
Right? He said
Welcome,
other
Gemma.
countries, and this is what you were talking about the other day, you go straight to a hotel.
Yeah. Well,
He said, how are those people that could potentially be infected with a new variant from a different country going to guarantee that we get them from the airport to wherever they're going to self-isolate? Yeah.
Well, they're talking about quarantine hotels.
Yeah, but they're talking about it.
Yeah.
Other countries have been doing it for 6 months. They can't talk about it anymore. They've got to do it. It's the only way to protect us from this vaccination program potentially being fucked up by another variant coming in.
Well, yeah, but again, on LBC last night, they were
Really?
talking about the fact that they are going to go for the hotels. I mean, they're not in place today, so
so
when
they are
they?
going. It's not. They're not just talking about it. It's definitely happening.
They are talking
Oh,
about
that's
that
good news.
as a possibility. I mean, what they do in certain countries in the West Indies is they have put an armed guard on your door, and they prevent you from leaving.
Because you could potentially kill thousands. That's why.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you can understand why they do
Yeah,
that.
I mean, you're a loaded gun. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got to assume that you're.
I hadn't even thought about that because, bad enough, okay, you're just going to ask people to self-isolate. First of all, how do you know they're going to self-isolate? And how are they going to get themselves from the airport to the self-isolation without self-isolating?
Look at this.
It's like, yes!
Tara Fitzgerald. A couple of hospitals in Ireland caught giving extra vaccines to staff family members, even kids, rather than passing on to other essential workers, not even to parents of very sick kids in the hospitals. So is there a sort of?
Oh my God. Well, there's
is there
bound to be a black market.
For, vaccines and people sort of on the. I mean, I still want to know. Will everyone need to be vaccinated again this winter? We're looking at 5 months.
We don't know yet, but they may have
How are we
to.
going to find out?
We don't know.
Well, no. But this is. I'm not being. I know you think
I
I'm being Richard
suppose
Madeley. I'm
what
asking
they
very-
will do is start testing people's antibodies after 6 months.
No, but I'm not wanting to piss on our sort of joy because I think we've got lots of good news today. But I am genuinely intrigued as to once we feel that we've done all the right things and all the metrics are moving in the right direction, how are we going to find out whether we need it again, whether it's worked? Are we going to find out the hard way by us all getting infected again?
John was saying about this the other day.
Because it's a
Dr. John
crucial
Campbell.
moment. It's a
Dr.
very
John
important
Campbell,
moment.
He was saying that,
Do you know what I mean?
that constantly, because don't forget, there's been thousands of mutations of this virus already. And he said it's a constant testing situation going on. And as at the moment, they are saying they don't think they're going to have to adjust the vaccine for until next year. And I suppose, God, how can we know? There's very clever brains working on this. They can tell by the way things are mutating whether it's going to move out of the vaccines arena or not. Do you think? And so they are at the moment predicting in a year they will have to. They will have to adjust it.
How do they know what they're adjusting it for? I tell you,
I don't know.
The reason I ask this question
suppose they're just
is
looking at the way that the mutations are going.
The current testing system as it is can pick up many of the variants, but the variants it can't pick up, rather not surprisingly,
Are the ones they don't know.
are the ones that evade testing. And those are the ones that were more worrying. So, for example, there are 2 Brazil variants. We know that one's here, and we know that it's the less virulent one. And the reason we know that is because the protein makeup of it is sufficiently like the one we've got to be picked up on the test that we do.
Yeah.
The problem with the variants such as the South African and the other Brazilian one is that the current testing system doesn't pick them up. So it's much harder. Do you remember we had that discussion how there's a much more sort of layered and more detailed testing system that goes on?
Yeah.
Now, all of that aside, I'm just curious to know how are we going to find out in a really tough way the extent to which these vaccines last, i.e., are we going to find out by all suddenly being caught with our pants down because it runs out? Say it runs out.
Because there's nothing. They're constantly looking at everything, aren't they? So I don't think.
Are they?
Yeah, of course they are.
Are they? Well, no. The reason I ask, I know you think I'm being sort of deliberately blunt.
I don't think anything actually.
The reason I'm asking is because it's a little bit like a pregnant woman saying, well, how do we know what the full term effects are on a pregnant woman who's been in full term, and given birth to a baby? Because we haven't had the time.
We don't. But they
are
constantly looking at it, aren't they? 24/7. They're looking at the mutations. They'll be looking at antibodies. They'll just be testing everything.
Okay, well, that leads me to perhaps my next point. Before I make my next point, Anastasia Alexander makes an interesting party political point. Please don't give the government credit for the vaccinations. That credit should go to the NHS, the army, and I have to add to that, the scientists who developed it.
Of course. No, we're not.
Boris
Absolutely.
will use the vaccine effort in the next election, but don't let him. Now, you're absolutely right.
You're
There's
right.
a definite trip and sort of smart.
Yeah. I was very impressed with that brigadier who came out and it said, with the NHS, he kept saying it, together, hand in hand, we are basically... What they are doing is setting up a chain of supermarkets, he said, within a month. That's the equivalent of what they do.
Anastasia's point is very key because I think we're seeing a lot of very chipper, very upbeat Tory politicians really hoping that the cataclysmic series of mistakes they made will get forgotten by our selective amnesia as a nation.
Because we're traumatised and we want to go, yes, this is good, you're looking after us now.
So they want to be the bearers of good news, which is why it's, and you're right, actually, 95% of this has to be laid at the feet of all those people on the front line doing it, as well as the vaccine makers, as well as the fact that these vaccine providers are having to close down manufacturing, to upgrade manufacturing, to maintain. So, Anastasia, it's such an important point. And I think it really is important that we don't lose sight of what we went through. So I would recommend that everyone watches all the coffee mornings from the beginning of the year, so you can absolutely see where we were. But this does lead me, going back to this question of when will we know and how will we know, because this is something that's been bugging me for a while.
How many coffees have you had? You're talking at like a million miles a minute.
This has been bugging me for a while, though. How do we assess success or not with the vaccine? And I think it's really important to know what is the criteria for success. What is the criteria for success and how will we be able to measure that? And Australia is doing something very unusual. Listen to this. Australian borders could stay closed into all the way through 2021 until next year.
Well, Faith Goodman will know about this. This is what Dr. John Campbell said.
They're unlikely to open their borders in 2021.
That's what he said. He says those are the people that are successful. Those are the countries that... I mean, God,
what do we think of that?
We feel for that because we feel for all the people that are, have to travel for various reasons. I see the sense of it. You've only got to look at the countries that have got hold of this virus, and they're the ones that are doing
just to give you some context on the story, the BBC is reporting Australia is unlikely to fully open its borders in 2021, even if most of its population is vaccinated and cases are down to zero.
Yeah.
The comments dampen hopes raised by airlines that travel to and from the country could resume as early as July. Ooh.
So I'm just texting the person.
What do we think of that, guys? What do we think of that? Erin Tyler Paris, scientists, you kind of echo what Nadia is saying. Scientists are still reviewing the vaccine. They will be looking at the long-term effectiveness over this year, and vaccine research doesn't stop once it's applied, obviously. It's also when it's approved for use. Cheryl Newby, that's what I want to know. Will we have to have a jab every year like the flu vaccine? It's looking likely.
But they do, every time I see an interview, they say they just simply don't know yet.
But they don't know. James Flanagan, I'm impressed with the UK regarding vaccination. Here in Ireland, we can't focus on it at the moment because we have too many sick people.
Oh, it's really tough, James, isn't it?
I do think there's a mixed message going on at the moment because we had such a moment of sheer awfulness. We're not hearing the stories of whether there's a relief happening for the NHS. Do you remember there was a moment, a really acute moment where it felt like it was Armageddon? And I think that was definitely the message we needed to get across. It was definitely
It was petrifying.
It was petrifying. But this is where one has to remember that we are being slightly manipulated by everything. Has that either changed, or if it's still the same, why isn't the message still being put out there as crucially? Do you know what I mean? Because, and this is the worry, that I think the government, you know, Boris is a big man for just wanting to always be good news. Do you remember, if you question Brexit, you were, what was it? You were the fearmongers or whatever.
Fearmonger, yeah.
Was it Mission Fear or whatever it was? And he likes to just sort of peddle positive good news. And so I do worry, you know, what is actually happening on the front line, and where can we get that information? Because the news gathering services aren't doing it. We've had a few sort of interviews with people in certain ICU units. Go on.
Oh, sorry, you moved it.
Andrew Smith, what's worrying is people think the vaccine is going to end this. I'm not sure it will. No, and I think...
Well, everybody you listen to on the news will say it's not just that one thing. It's not. We still have got to... We've got to think about the borders, because it's the variants coming in. That's what that woman was saying yesterday, wasn't it? When you went, oh my God, has she got any good news? If we can keep new and virulent variants out, we've got much more of a chance. And the only way of doing that is to make sure we don't have any flying in.
What do we think of Nadia? I've never known Nadia have a strong reaction to a Russian spy story or a Russian story, but you were quite blown away by Navalny returning.
Very.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I mean, let's not forget that footage of him on the plane screaming in agony. His poisoning was absolute agony.
I've seen the footage of him taken off the...
think he was going to survive that. No way, no how. He's flown around the world again. And as soon as he can stand and get better, he gets... So it makes me emotional. I could never be that brave.
Well,
and he goes back.
It's very clever what he's done.
When he
very
kisses
clever what
his
he's done.
wife... Oh my! He's sacrificing himself.
Oh, he's absolutely sacrificing.
Absolutely, he's a true hero.
He's so brave, because I mean, I've seen quite a few smart asses saying, "Well, why hasn't he gone back?" And why has he gone back? But the point about why he's gone back, no one is challenged or willing to challenge the Putin regime. And, you know, unless...
Why he's so brave is Putin doesn't care.
No.
Doesn't care. The whole world is saying to Putin, what are you doing?
Happening...
They won't release him.
But he knows that. We know that. But the reason he's done it is so that the United States and the European governments demand that he's released. It just puts more pressure on the sort of, you know, the dictatorial nature.
No, but
of the
what
regime.
I was trying to say when you went, yeah, we know that, was that pressure is utterly meaningless to Putin. So I just think, why have you done that? Because Putin will just go, like they've said on the Russian news today, the only reason that the West is saying this is because they have so much trouble going on that they're just trying to distract. Believe you me, if we had wanted him dead, this is what Putin said, he would be dead. Our agents would have murdered him. We didn't have anything to... And he'll dismiss it. He won't think anything of it.
No, I know. But there are very few opportunities to kick what's going on with Putin into the press. And I think Navalny sees this as the one last opportunity that he's got.
Sacrificed
He's throwing his life under the...
Yeah,
no, absolutely. But I mean...
His poor wife. Did you see her when she just got back in the car defeated? Oh, I just thought, he's a hero.
Yeah, I mean, you know, God only knows what's going to happen.
Can you imagine now? I mean, he still won't be well.
No.
And he's just thrown in a prison. No. They're probably torturing him.
Yeah. And a lot of the other stories, whilst we're not hearing the stories of what's going on, the specifics of what's going on in our ICU clinics, one thing that is creeping through is the burnout, which is being reported here. That I've been hearing a lot of this on the radio. Yeah. The burnout felt by staff that just haven't, even though they've been trained for this kind of for emergencies, even in A&E departments, they haven't been trained for this level of an emergency. Yeah. I mean, you know,
something that hit me the other day was there was an entire pediatric ICU ward taken over for COVID. So these pediatric nurses are now nursing these great big people.
Yeah.
I mean, what a shift for them. Oh God, they really are just extraordinary, aren't they?
Yeah.
What they're dealing with
Absolutely.
Day in, day out. And with arseholes, I'm sorry to bring him up again, like Lawrence Fox, advertising how to not wear a mask.
Yeah.
God almighty. Can I just, because I don't want to forget this.
Yes.
Sam J.
Is it Sam T or Sam J?
Sam T, I think. You 18 days sober today, brilliant. And you've got your book.
Sam
your
J.
book's arrived.
Sam J.
Sam J. The unexpected joys of being sober. It's arrived today. That's what really helped me when I did my 100 days. But good for you. 18 days, Mark. First
That's
18
amazing.
days.
That's amazing.
And I think you were the
amazing.
one that had kids
Yeah.
at home, and you were saying about Facebook, yeah.
And also, you know, as I've said to, you know, I know someone who just hit their 2 years, and it's just, you know, sometimes you can be hit with, you know, when you're in those early days, the teens, every day is such a rich thing. But just remember that it's, you know, celebrate every minute, every second, every time, every bit of progress you make. You are putting behind you, you know, old habits and old dysfunctional ways of trying to manage things. So this is, you know, it's just brilliant. It's just brilliant.
Lucy Heaney, his name isn't even mentioned in the Russian media. He's appearing in court right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's...
Oh my God. He could just be put in jail forever, couldn't he?
Yeah. Second baby, Christina C. Second baby due in 4 weeks and opting for a home birth. Just want to say thanks for your home birth video. Hubby watched it and was really moved. And both felt empowered to make that decision this time.
God,
Wow.
please let us know how it goes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
That is amazing. Well, look, guys, we're gonna scoot.
We've got to do our
love you and
welcome
leave
songs.
you. Do you want to do the welcome? Should we do the welcome songs?
So anybody that was just here for the news, leave now, because
Hit the
we're
thumbs
going
up.
to sing.
Hit the thumbs up if you've
there's
enjoyed
somebody,
it.
Anastasia, who keeps asking. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed it.
And do subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Go on, sorry. Yeah.
And Anastasia keeps asking how you join to the members' the guest area. So, are you right? I feel like you want to say something.
No. But what you're about to say, the reason there is a join symbol, but it just doesn't appear on many devices. So what we're about to say might not be there for you. So what I'm saying is, for most people, if you can't see a join button, you have to go off your device, go to another laptop or something. Join. That's what we do.
Try that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Mandy Wilson, can we write? Oh, let's start with Mandy Wilson. She never got her welcome song. People are saying they love the songs and they don't want to leave some of them. Mandy Wilson, Mandy Wilson, Mandy Wilson, welcome to the family guest area.
Someone just asked, when's the next Cornwall vlog landing? Today. Gemma Howard. Well,
If nobody's ever been here for these before, you might be a bit shocked, but they're supposed to be shit songs.
I was going to read out Lynn Aoki's, by the way.
Penny Shrimpton,
Heading down the street.
to the family guest area.
Penny Shrimpton, heading down the
Penny
street.
Shrimpton,
There's those songs when people do the line later.
Home.
Emma Morrison.
Emma Morrison, Emma Morrison, Emma Morrison, Emma Morrison, Emma Morrison. That's me ringing bells. Morrison, Emma Morrison, Emma Morrison,
Emma Morrison.